What's up, everybody? Michaela Vernava in the Nesson Studios, joined via Skype by John Campbell, sports analyst for oddshark.com. John, how's it going? Week 3 into the NFL season.
It's going great. It's going great. Not quite as good as you, but it's going okay so far.
I know, knock on wood, I'm doing okay in our super contest, which I'm pretty excited about. So hopefully I can keep that rolling for the rest of the season. But it's still early, so we'll see.
It is. Good stuff, though. Keep it rolling.
Yeah, I'll try. The Patriots rolling back in the right direction after beating the Saints. Tom Brady looked pretty good out there in New Orleans. I feel pretty confident about them being able to beat the Texans. Pretty big line, though, 13.5. What are you thinking in terms of placing your bets on this game?
Well, I don't think you need to be scared of the big spread when it comes to the Pats, because 8 of the last 9 times they've been double-digit favorites. They've covered the spread. So there's a good record there on their side going into this one. And Houston's never covered the spread at New England. They're 0-5 there, too. And New England seems to be over that first week and looked pretty solid last week.
I'd agree with that. And because, I don't think the challenge may be the Patriots putting a ton of points up on the board going against that Texans defense. But on the flip side, Texans offense has been pretty atrocious. And I feel like the Patriots defense will be able to kind of keep them at bay. So I wouldn't worry too much about them being able to get much on the scoreboard.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. You have to be able to score some points if you're going to keep up with the Pats. And I don't think this spread's big enough. I'm with you.
Yeah. Elsewhere in the AFC East, we have the barn burner, as they say here in New England, between the Miami Dolphins and New York Jets. What are you thinking about that game?
Well, I think you have to be pretty brave to lay a bet on the Jets right now. And Miami looked pretty good last week in San Diego and pulled out a win out of there. 6-point favorites. This line opened at 3.5, and then moved up really quickly. And the Jets just stink. And I think people are more than happy to bet against them. And I'll be really surprised if they win this one.
Well, elsewhere in the league, a couple of the lines stood out to me a little bit. One of them being the Raiders-Redskins. I know Redskins are at home, but I feel like that line should be higher. What do you think?
I don't know. That's maybe the toughest game for me this week. The Raiders have looked so good, but of course they're traveling east and they're on the road now. I think Washington just had a tough game in week 1 and looked pretty good last week. So I think this number is actually kind of right, but I'm leaning to the Raiders. They look great, and they've covered a couple spreads here.
And looking at the NFC South, the divisional matchup between the Panthers and the Saints. Panthers, of course, undefeated, and Saints 0-2. Lions 5.5. I feel pretty confident in Cam Newton being able to cover that. What do you think?
Well, I'm with you. And last week I have to apologize to the New England fan base because I bet against them and took the Saints. And boy, did I ever pay for that one. And I made a rule: no more bets on the Saints. This defense is just so bad. Maybe the worst we've ever seen in the NFL over the last couple seasons. So I'm with you. I don't know how you can take the Saints right now and feel good about it. So absolutely, I'm with the Panthers.
Yeah, I kind of feel bad for you there. You must have been sweating after the first quarter of that game.
Yeah, oh yeah, crazy. That one went under too. There were 40 points in the first half and somehow managed to go under the number of 56.5. So I think there were some tears for the people who had the over in that one.
Let's look at some of the futures odds for the Super Bowl, and I want to look at a couple of teams in the AFC. And let's start with the Steelers, actually. Can you break that down for us?
Yeah, the Steelers are right around where they open. They're 8-1 or 6-1. It kind of depends where you look, but they've looked really solid, and interesting game for them this week. Last year they scored about a touchdown less on the road, so that's something to be careful of coming into this week. And the Chiefs have looked great early on here too. They're close to 20-1. It just depends on where you get the odds, and they vary quite a bit. But those are a couple teams that have looked real good starting out.
This is my hot take, and I know we're only 2 weeks into this season, and it's not going to be a popular one, especially in New England. But I say if the Patriots are not the representatives of the AFC in Super Bowl 52, I think it'll be the Chiefs. I'm going to stand by that too.
Well, I can't argue with you, and there's still really good value on them. They're down to 14-1 at some spots, but it's still some great value. This is a real good team, and I fully expect those Super Bowl odds to drop.
All right, thanks, John. We'll talk to you next week.